gonna lie, it's like fake crazy. Like I just wanted to eat, you know what I'm saying, and watch the video. You know what I'm saying? But I couldn't. I'm like, I gotta watch this with the gang. I gotta watch this with the gang. So I'm finna eat and react with the gang. Well, we back with another reaction, y'all know. We back with Mac. 600 versus 60 DERE. We finna do, you know, some little something different, a little research. Something for the YNs. Y'all know y'all be over tapped into the culture. Just thought it was interesting. See who died on this shit. I get the real scoop behind 63rd and 600. You know what I'm saying? She was really busting, even though it's none of our business for real. It's just on the internet. Motherfucker, shit. Motherfucker want to get paid off they pain, shit. We finna tap in. See what's going on.
I rolled it up in some gravelly. No, I'm on that donkey. I rolled it up in some gravelly.
Yeah. Y'all need to sponsor this, man.
You ain't smoking.
A gang war is a conflict in the streets between two or more gangs.
Please sponsor
and a
this,
gang
man.
was originally an alliance between multiple blocks that all represented the same gang. But in Chicago, that's just not the case anymore. Today, the teenagers warring in the streets are just small groups of 5 to 10 guys going against other small groups of 5 to 10 guys. In one of his earliest songs, Exposing Me, King Von shows his age when he mentions a peace treaty, but he also gives you some insight into how some things have changed. In the song, he essentially implies that he doesn't believe in peace treaties because he himself saw the last one fail. Now, I remember being a kid back in 2011 and logging into Facebook.
Oh. So, what he's saying is, here's hot sauce. What he's saying is, they tried a peace treaty before. Like, they tried the peace route, and it didn't work. Why don't nobody never talk about that? Why didn't it work? And then that's just, y'all realize that's the thing with shit, like with change, like it's not, change is not gonna happen overnight. You stop the change. What if you could, like, you know what I'm saying? Just because it didn't work, don't mean it didn't work. Like, that's messy. That's so messy as shit. But just because it didn't work, don't mean it didn't work. Let that go over your head. Because just because one fallout happened don't mean it's the end of the world, right? Change don't happen overnight. You know what I'm saying? If y'all really want to get over something, y'all gotta put in the work. You know what I'm saying? Change, like, y'all have to put in the work. One mishap gonna happen. Mishaps is gonna happen. But if you're really true to the cause, we're gonna keep going. You know what I'm saying? Just like me and my son. If it's a mishap come, I'm gonna keep trying to make my nigga feel better. Even when I'm reacting to videos with y'all niggas. You gotta make shit happen. You gotta keep at it.
To see people posting pictures of a guy named D-Thing. He had just been murdered. And it was a mix of people saying rest in peace and others disrespecting him. But the
This
thing
a different
about his
D-Thing?
murder is that it happened during a peace treaty.
My brother D-Thing got killed in that peace treaty.
When that peace treaty came down, D-Thing was D-Thing. Like, he was 3 times.
He was a founding member of the group 600.
They said he was 3 times. Like, he had 3 bodies. 3 marks.
Stop it. Get some help.
which became part of the O Block 600 Alliance, made famous by his members such as Chief Keef before he moved to California, King Von, 600 Breezy, L.A. Capone, and Tay Capone, who was then known as Tay 600. Lil Durk is not from these blocks, despite what people on the internet claim.
So it is the same nigga.
Inglewood, which is on the other side of the expressway, but they were all close.
I didn't know though.
And an alliance like this was the only reason a peace treaty could.
So why did Tay 600 change his name to Tay Capone? Y'all always confused on that. Was it to stay out the Rico? Was it you cut the ties with them? You still fuck with them and just wanted to go mainstream more? So like, I just want to know why.
Ever happened.
It don't matter.
We had multiple hoods from Lamron to 600 together in an alliance to stretch nearly 2 miles across the south side of the city. Something that if it happened today in Chicago,
Lamron, that's where Dirk came from.
Short-lived, since cooking up with another hood only creates more enemies.
You know, nowadays,
Wait, what you
very
say?
short-lived since cooking up with out of the city. Something that if it happened today in Chicago would be very short-lived.
Type shit.
Cooking up with another hood
Type
only
shit.
creates more enemies.
You know, nowadays you
can't click up with shit.
They can steal your gun.
Yeah, they only
Motherfucker steal your watch, rob you for your chain. You know what I'm saying? Hey, bro, let me see that chain real quick, bro. I can see that bit. Yeah, yeah. Hard. Take off running on your stupid ass.
Or don't even take off running. Motherfucker, like, I can wear that bit. You don't wear that bit. You wake up the next day like, oh yeah, deal again. With my chain. I'm actually in the call. The fuck? This nigga ain't. The fuck? This nigga ain't answering. Yo, you talk to dude? Hell yeah. Bro, what you talking about? You got my chain? Oh, they said they lost that bit. In high speed. Alright, bro.
You like, damn, I thought we was cool. No. Close that back door. You can't get snaked out by yo. Yeah.
It's because there is no trust, there is no goal, no objective. Whereas back in the early to mid 2010s, the teenagers and gangs had at least something to mimic. The days when street gangs resembled the mob with structure, money-making operations, and foot soldiers were gone. But back then, in the late 2000s and early 2010s, the kids were still growing up on stories about the past.
Right.
The goal back then was to generate money and become a force that couldn't be victimized by another gang.
Okay.
But it was flawed. The days of dope boys and big money drug operations were just not a thing in my generation.
Nope.
Scamming was getting advanced, and the young guys just didn't care about selling drugs in Chicago. So that part was left to the older guys who were around in the 90s. And that's why it was easy for me.
No, for real though. I ain't gonna act like I was, you know what I'm saying? But I used to run up for a nigga that a nigga that was probably like a freshman. 14 going on 15 going into my freshman year, and like an average month would be like 2, 3, 4,000. I'll make profit. That was good though.
Yeah.
I'll spend all of it as fast as I get it on stupid shit, but it was good though. Like I had always had bread in my pocket type shit.
Right.
Had connections to the cartel. But notably, the older guys started to distance themselves from the younger generation. They were trying to become kingpins, but since the structure of their time was gone, they couldn't force the teenagers to sell drugs for them and bring back the profit like what had been done to them in their youth. If you gave a bag to a kid in my generation and expect him to be a servant who was just going to stand on the corner and be rich, you'd be in for a big surprise. But one thing the younger generation held on to back then were the gangs. The GDs, BDs, Stones, Vice Lords, Latin Kings, ADs, 4CH, and so on.
Wait. Hold on. So you mean to tell me these niggas have fuck making money? We ain't gonna keep the tactics around that make us money. Nah. We gonna keep the shit around that's gonna kill us. That's gonna get us locked up. You know what I'm saying? We gonna keep that shit around. What?
And with these big alliances still in place and the kids not selling drugs, they started to get in conflict with one another. And it wasn't about a block or a hood. It would usually start as a personal dispute that would lead to a gang war because everybody was together. But once the shooting and killing started to get out of hand, the older guys made the last move they ever had to influence the youth.
What was that?
That's when they helped usher in a peace treaty. There were multiple hoods, but to simplify, it was a few BD hoods and a few GD hoods going at it. And for a very, very short time,
the guys stepped up and did the peace. See, I don't know. This a little before me. He said D-Thing, when D-Thing died and shit, that was 2011. I was still in fucking 2011. I was 6th grade going into 7th grade. I went into 7th grade at the end of 2011. You know what I'm saying? So depending on what he talking about, I'm a little bit young. I'm like a.
But you gotta think about it too. That's probably another reason why it didn't work out. You can't have the older guys come in, try to make a peace treaty. Y'all not really getting your feet wet. It would have to be a nigga who getting their feet wet. One of the young niggas come up and be like, yo, this shit gotta stop. They're trying to put out the fire. And the young niggas still igniting it. You know what I'm saying? That's why that shit didn't work. What's wrong, dude? They trying to put a fire out that the young niggas trying to ignite.
Like just a one little generation under them type shit. But I don't know nothing about the peace treaty. That's basically what I'm saying. Like, I don't know really shit about it for real.
The treaty was respected, but one guy made a move that had a huge cause and effect that lasted for over a decade.
What was that?
Killed my little brother. I'm over there chilling with them, and I ain't gonna say I was comfortable. I was nervous than them. We done did so much, so it's like, okay, they calling it, it's a peace treaty now, but it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, is it?
D-Thing from 600 was known to be a bully. Even before Reddit and Traplo Ross videos, it was known that he would just pull up to certain hoods and start shooting. So when the peace treaty was in effect, a guy named Dome from Jaro City, one of the hoods that D-Thing would shoot at, would catch D-Thing around Washington Park, and it should have been fine. But maybe it was because he felt like the peace treaty wouldn't last forever, and right here in front of him was a very dangerous guy.
Right.
So he killed him. And thus, the peace treaty ended, dishonorably. Now, exactly why?
Like I said, bro, you got a peace treaty going on, but that nigga still was scared. You know what I'm saying? He never knew. He felt like, he might be the only, he feel like, damn, what the peace treaty end one day, you know what I'm saying? And this nigga come and kill me. Or get one of my brothers, one of my cousins. You know what I'm saying? He would have regretted letting that nigga live for the rest of his life. He didn't do it. He killed that nigga and went to jail.
He did this.
D-Thing, one of the ones that like started 600. So that's what really
gang leader. Yeah, fuck all that.
Pushed the shit. Like when niggas be saying like them not our ops, that's what they mean. Like you ain't the one that killed D-Thing. These niggas from Jaro did. That's why 63rd and 600, 63rd and O Block, that's why that shit was so heavy.
Right.
Then T-Roy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? T-Roy was another one that just sparked even more bodies to get, you know what I'm saying? And it was niggas on 63rd side too. It was big names. You know what I'm saying? That was sparking shit and making shit go crazy. But this shit really lasted. Like, this is history about shit that I started experiencing when I got to high school. Like, but the war was already like full-fledged. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Dome was caught not long after this and sent to prison, and he was supposed to get out in 2021.
So they were trying to stop this war before it happened. That's what was going on. So King Von and them used to hang out with Uski and them. But the shit they got so bad, it reached the point of no return type shit. Like, dude. It reached the point of no return type shit. He's not finna let me do it. You good? Yeah, so it reached a point of no return type shit. Damn, that's crazy how this life shit really worked.
That never happened because he died in prison under mysterious circumstances.
Damn.
But this event, along with the word gang already
That's
losing
crazy.
its meaning in Chicago, sent parts of the city to where they are today. Now, the story of this war has been told 1,000 times on the internet, so the only new angle I can really give you is my personal experience maneuvering around the South Side while all of this was going on. When guys like Vaughn, Scrap, and many more people who are no longer here were actively running wild. Because the street politics in the city are so different that in O Block, at one time, there was a no GD policy. And saying something like BDK was disrespectful to the entire alliance of O Block 600, Lamron, and Front Street. And that's because for the most part, everybody was BD. But today...
You ever had one of them days where
Everybody was
everything
BD,
seems to go
so-
wrong? I mean, you're just trying to grab a cup of coffee and bam! You're tangled in
G's.
a pouch to the
You GD, you gonna be my blood cousin. You GD, I'm smoking you.
Just
15 years ago.
That's crazy.
Cracking the trade. Hey, you got guys walking around O Block with the chains King Von bought, cracking the trade,
Right.
which is disrespectful to the BDs.
Right.
Something that wouldn't have happened 10 years ago.
That's crazy.
Now,
That's what's
this is
going
not
on
to say
right now,
the
though.
Hood was just one gang,
Okay.
as somebody like FYBJ Maine, who now pushes for peace in Chicago, was allied with the GDs despite the fact that, like most of his family, he
We're
was a
BD.
BD. But I remember it like yesterday. Not long after I saw everyone saying
Damn.
rest in peace to D-Thing, every block from 51st to today. Not
Okay,
despite the fact
Okay,
that
y'all
most of
look
his
like
family,
butter.
he was a BD. But
I look just like butter. God damn.
I remember it like yesterday. Not long after I saw everyone saying rest in peace to D-Thing, every block from 51st to 69th became significantly more dangerous. I had heard about peace treaties in the years leading
I'm
up.
telling you, nigga. 51st to 69th. He ain't playing, he ain't not playing from Young Money to JoJo.
51st to 69. 51st, 051, right? Damn. 51st to 69th. That's 18 blocks. God damn.
No cap, damn, basically what he just said. From Young Money all the way to damn Woogle World damn over there. You feel me? It was
Cracking.
You feel me? Like real
Like,
big
damn.
thing. And I'm
This real life shit, like motherfuckers just walking down a regular street, it's crazy. Like, damn, like an active war used to really go down. Cause like, bro, I be in Chicago now. And 10 years ago, like I was in Chicago, but we went on like 60 or nothing. Like my auntie and them, like, but like you would drive, you would hear gunshots like going off, like bro, shit crazy, G. Cause my auntie and them lived in Chicago, but she lived on like 90th, like up type shit, and like a townhouse type shit, like on 90th type shit.
I lived on 53rd. You feel me? My grandma lived on 47th, 45th, rather.
Type shit.
Right outside of that shit, where it was a whole nother war. Like
Whole different game.
going to parties around this time was just different, bro. Like
You couldn't even go to
this
no
was
party.
a scary time, and it's not cool at all. I'm so happy. Like Chicago is really better. Like niggas want to say what they want to say, gang. It's worse in some ways, but it's better in other ways too, bro.
Yeah.
Surviving high school was a full-time job. nigga.
Yeah.
Going to parties, what
Bro,
gas station?
I ain't gonna lie. Cause I'm not gonna lie, my cousin was telling me about that. Like, bro, motherfuckers would really be waiting for your ass to leave school, G. Cut your ass, fan your ass down, folks. My cousin was telling me about that bridge. Dirk was talking about in this song. He was, yes, nigga, that bridge. As soon as niggas hit that bridge, I forgot what school it was. But as soon as motherfuckers hit that bridge, they get the torch and shit. They trying to get your ass.
What's going on over here? Make sure if you see this person, get the hell on, because you know somebody gonna shoot at him. Don't go this way home, go the other way. The police hot right now. It's this person just died, that person just died, my homie just got shot, hit. Like, it was a lot of shit going on, bro. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that I even got out of that shit is a miracle. But this, like, and by the time I was in high school, it was full-fledged war. Like, it was cracking.
Pick a side.
It wasn't no nothing.
To 2011,
I'm trying to hear shit.
I would have still been in elementary school in 08, 09, and 2010, but I did remember when 600 was founded because the area I grew up in was full of people that had family members in 600. And with that came another alliance that was split. Once the peace treaty was broken, the alliance on the side of King Von and Lil Durk suddenly became very aggressive toward anybody that claimed GD.
On Jaja, where the fuck is Shorty them at?
On Jaja.
He said,
I wouldn't necessarily say this happened with the Hispanic gangs and the white gang.
He said,
I wouldn't necessarily say this happened with the.
Y'all remember being shot at Lady for?
He said,
I wouldn't necessarily say aggressive toward anybody that claimed GD.
On Jaja, where the fuck is Shorty them at?
Bro, they
Oh, he got a pop on.
He said,
I wouldn't necessarily say this happened with the Hispanic gangs, and the white gangs already experienced a similar split years before that basically destroyed them. And just in case I'm not putting in the scale just how big the alliances used to be, the summer in Chicago has always been the deadliest time of year for people in the streets. Because it's hot, and since most gang members were and still are teenagers, that means that the guys that hate each other are all out of school, and some of the older guys have nothing to do since they just graduated. But the summer of 2025 recorded the lowest number of homicides in Chicago since the summer of...
That's what's up.
Summer of 1965. The lowest murder since 65. That's what I mean. Like, it's getting a lot better. The summer of 97. Look. The summer of 74 had 244 homicides.
Bro, niggas getting whacked.
970 for the year. The summer of 21. I was already gone at this time.
Yeah, 4 years ago.
They had 274 homicides. Summer of 16, I was probably just graduated. Yeah, I just left my junior year. And it had 242 homicides just that summer. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, bro.
This summer was only 123. That's half, bro.
Yeah. That's what's up.
That's half, bro. 278 from January to August.
That's great.
Which is still a lot, but Chicago a big city though, so as long as it's getting better, like that's all.
1965. When watching the news or listening to politicians outside of the city, Chicago can seem just as deadly as ever. And I know I've given Chicago politicians a hard time for being literally the most corrupt local government outside of New York State, but this is not just me reading statistics. I actually saw this happen. I watched the streets become safer. Right. Simply put, the groups at war right now are far too small with too few alliances to ever engage in a decade-long war, like the one that put drill on the world stage, where the careers of people like DJ Academics took off for covering the insane conflicts that nearly wiped out entire graduating classes. The alliances were so big that there was family on both sides. As one of the most well-known guys from 600, Mimo, said recently in an interview that his cousin, who was on the other side of the war, killed one of his friends. And just 5 months later, 2 of Mimo's friends killed one of his other cousins. If my cousin's friends want to kill me, well, he's my cousin. He knows all my secrets and where I can most likely be found in the city if someone was looking for me. And you might ask, well, how could you go against your own family for a gang? Well, that's not really what it was. Let's say my cousin and I go to different high schools. We see each other sometimes, but not every day since we live in different neighborhoods. Over the summer, a good friend of mine gets into a fight with a good friend of my cousin's. Or one of them steals from the other, or anything that crosses a line. Maybe my cousin's friend ends the fight with a threat.
This is a real scenario. This is not
this is scary.
This the real rap.
Says the next time I see you, I'ma kill you. But my friend doesn't let it go past this, so he pulls out his gun and kills him on the spot. He threatened him after all, a big threat. If someone in Chicago tells you this from any background, you should probably take it serious. But my cousin's friends don't care who was justified and who wasn't. They decide that my friend has to pay the price for this in blood. And maybe one of the guys that witnessed it was the brother of the victim. What sway then would your cousin hold over the next thing that happens? None, which is just as much sway I would have if these guys caught me and my friend. Now, it doesn't matter if I keep being friends.
See, like, even this, bro, this
sway then
bro.
would your cousin...
It was a point in time where, like, no matter what main street you went on, this how the rack looked, bro. Like middle school, early high school days, bro. The rack was busting. It's fights everywhere. It's 30,000 niggas just walking around, just standing there. Police everywhere. Fights, shootouts.
Hold
like,
over the next thing that happens. None, which is just as much sway I would have if these guys called me and my friend. Now, it doesn't matter if I keep being friends with this guy or not. The people that want to kill him might still think that we're friends, so I could very well become a target. And mind you, all of this is happening while we're still in high school, because from the time Chief Keef dropped his first song to when he left Chicago, King Von got locked up, and the death of L.A. Capone and the arrest of C-Day and Rondo, it would have only been from his freshman to his senior year, as King Von, who was only a year older than Keef, would have only been 19 at the beginning of 2014, which was 3 whole years after the end of the peace treaty. Obviously, most people on the South Side don't gangbang, but the families that do would have suddenly had less stories of gangs being some big organized alliance, and those stories would have been replaced with stories of how renegades of gangs being some big organized alliance.
I'm pretty sure, yeah, this Kenwood. This high school I went to, yeah.
And those stories would have been replaced with stories of how renegade the streets have become, and how there was no point to even be in the streets anymore. Also, in an older video, I mentioned the database used by the Chicago police that ranks how likely it is for certain people to either be a victim or the perpetrator of gun violence. And even though it's discontinued, I did manage to find some footage of it. It may look bad from the outside, but I guarantee, in 10 years, class reunions on the South Side will be bigger than they have been in 15 years.
No cap.
But thank you guys for watching this.
No cap. It really, even though it don't look good like it, because you got Q50 and Lil Jeff and all these people.
Yeah.
But it's a lot better, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It seemed like
it's a lot of rap. It's a lot of rap cap. You know what I'm saying? It's like niggas ain't doing their thing. They say you doing. You know what I'm saying? That shit just hit. I appreciate y'all tuning in with me. You know what I'm saying? I'm finna watch this Benedon shit. Then I'm gonna work on this motherfucking Ballad of Gay Tony for y'all, man. We grinding, bro. Shout out Mac, man. Shout out Chicago. Shout out BD. Shout out GDs. You know what I'm saying? Shout out everybody. I ain't gonna lie. One thing, bro. Fuck the street shit. The street's dead. I don't know why motherfuckers still portray that shit, condone that shit, any of that. The street's dead, bro. Or get some fucking money. If you got kids, go take care of your kids. Fuck that bitch. Get some money. Be great. Live healthy, bro. Black people need to unite, bro. We'd be bro, we'd be something so vicious if we all put our heads together, bro. That's what they don't want. I believe in my people, though, man. Check it out, bro.